Good day. This is Sylvie with another health tip. And I'm working on my lighting. I think the last two videos I did were a bit grainy, and I'm doing some tech stuff to figure it out. I'm hoping that I solve the problem. So we will see. And following up with the last video I gave, since I covered such a broad topic, I'm going to be covering adrenals and energy. And health-related stuff in that general area as well. And I put on some really good adrenal health videos. My favorite is actually, I think, the last one that I found by Dr. Ekberg. I really, really love this guy. He is just so calm and he's so healthy. I think he's actually an Olympian athlete or something, or was, or some kind of a major athlete or professional. I can't remember exactly. I don't want to say something that he is that he isn't. Definitely powerful athlete. Let's just put it that way. And he's also a doctor. I believe he's a naturopath or something like that. Yeah, very, very holistic and very calm. And he just radiates wonderful health. So following, who do you listen to? Someone giving information about health who has a clinic. He runs his own clinic, and he is the epitome of health as far as I'm concerned. Strong, gorgeous skin. Yeah, so very inspiring. So I do recommend you check the last link out on the Adrenals, and he does a really great job. I don't love all of his videos as much as this one, but I must say I'm really pleased with this one. I found it very informative and very well presented. The other ones are all great too. I love them all. This one just really clicked for me. Yeah. So moving right along. Do you have exhausted adrenals? So are you feeling tired? Are you feeling dizzy when you stand up from lying down or from crouching down? Are you able to sleep well at night or not? Those are different things that would give you some hints. Are you feeling tired a lot of the time? Now, that could be a lot of things. So it isn't just about the adrenals. So I'm going to be talking about that because many people do a lot of stimulants and they have high carb diets or eat some refined sugars, et cetera, which creates kind of like a yo-yo effect on your blood sugar. So when that happens, that stresses your adrenals. Any kind of regular ingestion of stimulants like caffeine or those energy drinks, etc., those don't actually give you real energy. They just kind of smack your adrenals around and make them produce more adrenaline so you feel like you have more energy, but you're actually kind of burning the candle at both ends, so to speak. So it's not a healthy kind of energy that you would get from having a lot of oxygen in your cells, or from having a really great balanced diet, or from having, there was another one that came and went. Maybe it'll come back later. Okay. And let's see. Or also a mood, feeling something to be inspired, to be looking forward to, can also give you energy. So let's move right along. So we're talking about here. Oh, so I did talk about the caffeine and stress. Oh, of course, stress increases your cortisol, which is produced by your adrenals. So if you have perpetual stress, then you're perpetually tapping in on the hormones that your adrenal glands are making. So eventually, if there's no rest, it's going to be hard for them to replenish and balance out again. So that is something else. So I give some substitutes. I have a coffee substitute recipe, one of my favorites. It kind of mimics Ethiopian coffee if you put a little bit of ginger in there. So I just mix chaga powder with roasted chicory, just ground roasted chicory, and I mix those two, and I put some either grated or thinly sliced ginger in there, and I put it in a French press. You could steep it any way you like. I just find this the most practical way of doing it, the same way you would do a coffee. And it has a wonderful flavor. And for green tea, I'm a real big green tea fan. I love that kind of tanniny, just a little bitter, but not too much flavor, and that green flavor. And sometimes there's just too much caffeine, or right now I'm taking some homeopathics, and my practitioner said 0 caffeine, so no more green tea for 3 weeks. So I have a mixture of nettle and raspberry leaf tea. And I just want to add a little warning for raspberry leaf tea. If you are pregnant, you shouldn't really be having raspberry leaf tea until your 3rd trimester or a little bit later, because it does stimulate the uterus. So you don't want to be doing that. Actually, traditionally, in a lot of traditional folk medicine, women near the end of their pregnancy, maybe the last 1 or 2 months or 1 month, they would drink the raspberry leaf tea because it helps to tone the uterus and gets it ready for giving birth. So there you go, a little extra tidbit. So I talked about the caffeine, I talked about the warning and recipes, and there are many products out there that are relatively clean. I know Taquino might be good. I'm not sure if they put artificial flavors in there. Just read the labels. That's why I just make my own, because inevitably I find something that I don't like that somebody's added in a pre-made mix. But I think there's some dandelion coffee blends that you can get from the health food store that are also made from roasted dandelion roots. I actually add that as well sometimes to my coffee substitute. And so there are many options. I know it's really hard to let go of that boost, so it's good to kind of wean yourself off. My partner does sort of half decaf and half caffeinated coffee, and then one could keep going down, or maybe 1 a day of those is fine with the system. So you just got to find your balance and just not overdo it. That's all. I mean, a little bit most people can handle it. Just you need to find your balance. Everybody's different. Some people will need 0 caffeine to be in balance because they're sensitive to it. It looks like some people metabolize caffeine differently. I believe I'm one of these people that, if I have like a tiny piece of chocolate, even after 2 in the afternoon, I can't sleep. So I'm one of these very, very, very sensitive people, and some people are less sensitive. So it just depends on what your needs are and what's working for you. And then diet is huge for everything. Let food be thy medicine, let thy medicine be thy food. So generally speaking, for steady energy, you want a low carbohydrate diet. It doesn't necessarily have to be keto. It could be keto. And I put some links down for some guidance in that area. Or some people take it like right up to carnivorous, meaning just eating animal-based. So those can be interesting for energy. A lot of people find that they have more energy because they're burning fat for fuel instead of sugar, and it keeps your blood sugar really, really even. So there's some advantages. I'm not sure if eating only animal-based foods is good long-term forever. Some people have managed on that quite well. Again, everybody has slightly different needs, so it's good to have some options. But generally speaking, no refined sugars, no seed oils. Seed oils are just like the worst thing ever. So like no canola, sunflower, safflower, grapeseed, vegetable oil is a mishmash of who knows what. Make sure if you use olive oil that it's pure. There's a test you can do. You can put it in the fridge, and if it gets all solid, then it's fine. But if part of it is not solid, that means it's been cut. Give it some time though. I would give it like a week or 2 in the fridge just to give it a chance to really gel for the test. And let's see, coconut oil is great. Avocado oil, again, it's one of those ones that has been being contaminated, or how should I say, cut. So it's hard to get pure avocado oil, and I'm not sure how to tell whether it's pure or not. So unless you do your research with the company, etc., that would be maybe one of the few ways of finding out. ghee, butter fat, tallow. Some people can handle bacon fat. Some people do pork. Some people don't. I respect that. I generally shy away from it. And yeah, beef fat, duck fat. Oh, duck fat is divine. And yeah, chicken fat, turkey fat, anything, goose. All of those are very good. If you have issues with like the proteins and sugars in dairy, then a lot of people can handle ghee, which is a form of clarified butter, which is kind of taken the next level. It's Ayurvedic from the wise Indian culture of India. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I've got a lot of links on diet, so I don't want to go crazy there. Okay, and sluggish liver. A lot of people have toxins in their liver. Stress creates more toxins in your system. So a lot of people could really use a little help for cleaning their liver. One of the quick things that I like to do, kind of gives it a kickstart, is I like to do a mono eating cleanse. Now, if you are still doing some carbs, you could do a 1-day mono eating organic apple fast, ideally lower sugar apple like the Granny Smith would be better, and or oranges and or grapefruits. Grapefruits have the added advantage of actually being specifically good for your liver. I find a lot of people, if their colon is pretty gummed up or if they haven't done a cleanse in a while, I like to start with the apple because it has a lot of pectin and it really moves things along, and it just gives you this great clean feeling. And then I would follow it for a second day. I would do grapefruit after that, and then you just absorb all that wonderful grapefruit vitamins and minerals and liver health, and so that becomes a 2-day cleanse. So I recommend if you're starting a cleanse, just do 1 day, and then if you're not doing carbs, which is a great idea, one could use cucumbers. Make sure you peel them. There's plants have got a lot of protection in their peels, so they're more anti-nutrients and digestive issues from the cucumbers. And celery is great. It's a healing herb. It's amazing. So I think those are two of the safer vegetables to eat for a cleanse. They're mostly water, and they have a lot of have very hydrating properties. Celery is amazing for cardiovascular health. And so it's just a beautiful cleanse, and you're at least eating something. And on this cleanse, I wouldn't do any caffeine. Herbal teas are fine. Water's great. And you can add a pinch of good salt to your water when you're having water as well. And then when you're breaking your fast, don't eat a steak. Just the next day, eat a little bit lighter. So that's a great way to cleanse your system. And I actually have a link to my mono eating cleanse video, so you can check that out as well. My favorite is ideally fresh squeezed lemon, either half of a lemon or a whole lemon in water with a pinch of good salt in the morning. I like to actually put some high quality iodine supplement in there as well sometimes. And that's just good for probably almost everyone these days. And so I drink that first thing every morning, and that just alkalizes your whole system. It cleans. It's got like great vitamin C. It has just so many benefits, and it's just a great way to start the day. And sometimes, ideally, if you do some either intermittent fasting or avoid any fats until noon, then it gives your liver a longer time to clean, because it starts to detox at around 4 in the morning. So the first time when you have fats, it stops to detox and it starts to digest fats. That's why a lot of the people who are on keto or carno, they actually do not eat until later in the day. So that way it gives their liver a chance to continue with the cleanse. So that works. And then if you're ending up, needing to eat at 11 and you're eating eggs and whatever, that's fine. Like you've got to make it fit your schedule and your lifestyle as well. Okay. Okay, so just the lemon juice. Some people have issues. This may have been debunked, but still, some people still may have issues. Everybody's different and their teeth are all different. There's a concern with dental enamel in lemon juice. So what I would do, I would just put a little bit of baking soda in it to neutralize the acids. So then it wouldn't hurt the teeth so much. Or you can use a straw and avoid having it touch your teeth. If you don't want to do the fresh lemon, you can buy this. Usually it's in a green bottle. There's all kinds of organic lemon juice sold in glass. Don't have it in plastic because the acid would then you're drinking plastic, right? So that wouldn't be good. So there's a lot available, and it's this great big bottle, and it's relatively economical when you read on the label and see how many lemons are actually in there. So that's pretty cool. And it lasts forever in the fridge. So that's a good quick fix if you would prefer to do it that way as well. It's not as beneficial as the fresh, and it's still way better than not doing it. Salt. Make sure I said good salt. Good salt. That means no regular table salt. Even regular sea salt that's been really, really processed is not ideal. It's okay. Ideally you want Celtic sea salt, Brittany sea salt, gray salt. Maison Orphy makes a good brand. Redmond's is also, I think, pretty good. So anything that's unprocessed. And there's other ones available too. There's one, I think, that's Arctic waters collected in Africa somewhere or something like that. Or just look it up and make sure that they're not processed and they're natural salts, and that they haven't had anything added to them. If you want a surprise, look at the ingredients of regular table salt and you'll find out what else is in there that you might not want to have. Continuing on with diet, generally I recommend gluten-free or low gluten. It just wreaks havoc, and it's such an inflammatory thing. If you're having health issues, why add to the mix of things that could go wrong? Some people do well with dairy, some people don't. Most people are fine with butter or ghee, so those are really great. Some people aren't so great with cheese because a lot of the cheese these days, unfortunately, the rennet that they're using isn't natural rennet from the gut of the cow. It's all made in a lab, and most of it's GMO, and it's very suspect, and some people are actually really reacting to that. So I just tested one of my clients, and yeah, it was no for cheese and okay for yogurt and kefir. Interesting, there's no rennet in that. Just saying, very interesting. So yeah, so some people might be fine with a high quality yogurt or kefir. That would be good. If you can handle dairy. Eggs are usually great. Duck eggs are particularly good. And ducks are pickier eaters than chickens, so it's harder to feed them junk. I think they might be less genetically modified in their own being as chickens too. Chickens have been messed with one way or another for a long time. Okay, I said that alcohol can be a really tricky thing. It's another sugar. I don't have any. The only alcohol I have is in if I'm using a tincture or vanilla extract. I know some people really love to have a glass of wine with friends with dinner. If it's a little bit and it's once in a while. Sometimes the stress of not having it is worse than having it, as long as it's not every day and that sort of thing. So I don't like to use the word moderation because it's a slippery slope, because there's a huge, what I call, gradient in moderation. So on the huge spectrum, moderation could be anywhere from here to here. It's just a dangerous thing. Okay, and adrenals, stress. So what can you do? Meditation is amazing to reduce stress. Deep breathing exercises, Tai Chi, Qigong, ideally low impact aerobics or no impact aerobics are great. Swimming is great. And if your adrenals are really suffering, you don't want to overdo the exercise. You want to do regular, gentle exercise, gentle aerobic exercise. You don't want to do it for too long, maybe for 15 minutes or 20 minutes of active something just to get your heart rate up, maybe get a little sweat going, and then take a rest. And I heard that there's a way of cycling that makes the cardio more effective, so that you do a bit of cardio and you rest, and you do a bit of cardio and you rest. And that's actually more effective than like going no holds bar cardio for 45 minutes nonstop. Can actually cause more harm than good and actually be less effective than taking little rests in between. Fascinating. So that's a whole other world of exercise. I think that's about it. I made a little note about mitochondria and listed some plants and herbs that might be helpful in supporting your mitochondria, which are your energy storehouses in your body. So that helps with giving you energy. And so hopefully that will be good as well. And there's the usual links. And this is a long video, so I better stop now. Have a wonderful time. And until next time, bye-bye.